The Chucky is gonna get you. The Chucky is gonna get you. The Chucky is gonna get you tonight. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, you gotta be like at least my generation or up. Otherwise, you're not getting that or knowing what song that is. But, alright, so I know I got the rest of the Saw series to do. I just wasn't really in a Saw mood. So, felt more in a Final Destination mood, which is I'm doing the series. So, it's starting now. I was actually in a Final Destination mood like 8 hours ago. And I got distracted with a whole bunch of shit. It's like 4 in the morning, 4:20 almost. So, yeah, we're going to watch Final Destination from 2000, directed by James Wong. Because I always confused that back when this came out with James Wan. So when Saw came out and it was James Wan, I was like, oh shit, the guy who did Final Destination? No, that's James Wong did this movie. Not James Wan. Wong? Wan. No good. But when this movie came out, like it was pretty big. Like this movie was a pretty damn big movie when it came out in 2000. Like I remember people like going crazy over this movie. And I remember this movie made so many people, just like Psycho made people not want to take a shower, this movie made people not want to get on a plane. Like a lot of people. Like I remember hearing that all the time. People saying like, I don't like going on planes. Like you ever see Final Destination? It's all the time people would say that shit. And James Wong, well, I'm pretty sure he was a writer on X-Files, right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty damn sure. And I know he directed the third Final Destination, which makes sense because I really like that one too. But I always go back and forth on which one I like more, this one or the second one. Kinda always give the edge to the second one, but this one just has just such a classic feel to it. We got Devon Sawa in here, which it's great to see him. Like after he looks so young in this movie. Like he looks so young. Like so young compared to, and I know he had like addiction issues and stuff like that, and he was out of like not doing any movies for a long while, and we just never saw him. But I'm glad he's doing better, and I'm glad that he's got that part in Chucky season 2, and now I heard that I'm pretty sure he's going to be in a movie. So good for him. I'm glad like he's getting his career back and everything, because I've always liked Devon Sawa. Like he's great in this movie, like really good in this movie. Every time I see it, like I say to myself, he does a damn good job in this movie. And then I kind of forget exactly like how good he is. And then whenever I rewatch it, it just hits me again. It's like, yo, he kills it in this movie. Like he really does. Yeah, there's some poor line delivery and stuff like that, but he really sells this character of Alex that's freaking out and like has his premonition, and then he's just freaking out all over the place because he doesn't know what's happening to him. He doesn't know what's happening around him. And he really plays that well. And then we have, what's her name? Ali Larter? Yeah, Ali Larter, I'm pretty sure. We have the guy who went on to be Captain America, right? I don't know. I don't like superhero movies, but I'm pretty sure that's the guy who went on to be Captain America. Pretty sure. And then fucking Stifler. Dude, that is such a bad choice for casting. What a terrible casting call. Like, that's why you never saw him in a horror movie again after this, because he's just, it doesn't fit. And like every time you see him, it's fucking Stifler from American Pie. Like talk about typecasting. Like rather, it's like no casting now. Cause when's the last time you saw Sean William Scott in anything? It's been like 15 years for me. Like I can't remember the last thing I saw him in. And then we have Tony Todd, which is always amazing and always great to see, even though he has this little part. And it's kind of interesting that like when this movie came out, we didn't really see anything like this before. Like, in mainstream horror. Like, 'cause this was real big at the box office. I'm pretty sure it was big at the box office, right? Because I know everyone was going crazy over this movie. So I think it did very well. I could be completely wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure. But like the whole idea of, death following you around and waiting to fucking fix his little plan and can kill you off because you cheated death. It's a pretty original idea. Has it been done before? Probably. Like I say with every idea, because I don't know every film ever made. So I can't say that for sure. But it's a great concept. Like, it really is. And it really makes for some good suspense in here. Like, the way that they shoot things, that like they'll show, well, something moving, or from then you'll think that, oh, that's going to kill him, and then like something else, like a knife on the shelf, falls over, and you think he's going to trip, and then it just happens so fast in a way that you didn't really expect. These movies are great at doing that. And I've heard people say this is a slasher film, but death is the killer, that's the slasher. No. This is not a slasher film. Sorry. Like, I mean, you could look at it that way. I don't see it that way. I think that's ridiculous. Like, it's much better just taken as it is with the concept that it has, because it's a great concept, like I said. If I remember correctly, too, this movie came out, like, right after TWA Flight 800 crashed. If anyone remembers that. I'm pretty sure this was, like, close after that. Maybe a year or two. And maybe that's another reason that it hit people so hard, is that was a huge plane crash. Everyone remembered that. It was all over the news. So having this movie come out and having a plane crashing at the beginning, yeah, I wouldn't get on the fucking plane either. Man, these are long opening credits. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't remember that. Like, this goes on and on and on. Like, it really feels so long. I don't know, observation. Alright, anytime I hear the lines in an airport, the white zone is for unloading and all of that, dude, airplane immediately comes to mind. Like, I don't think anybody can hear those words in that line without thinking of airplane. Like, I can't. I don't know many others that can. Can you? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. So, I don't know why. Alright, so Alex's premonitions and everything, I have some issues with it. Like, nitpicky issues, like, usually. But, like, when he first starts seeing shit happening, like, weird stuff, the first thing he sees is, like, you know, the board that shows all the flights, and they start flipping around and stuff, and he starts looking very uneasy. Why, though? Like, it's just, the thing's moving. Wouldn't other people see that? Like, at his back's turned, like, he's talking to the woman at the desk. He, like, turns around and sees it. So wouldn't everyone see that? Or is that just in his mind? I don't know. That never made sense to me. Stifler. Man, Ali Larter was so sexy in this movie. Like, damn, dude. Like, even back in 2000, I thought she was sexy as hell. And she looks phenomenal in this. And her name is Clear. Not Claire. Clear Rivers. That's her name. Clear Rivers. Dude, like, she probably got made fun of so much growing up, but she's sexy as hell, so people will forgive it. Alright, this thing's always bothered me a little bit. They go to take the shit together, Todd and Alex. Because Todd says to him, if you're on a 7-hour flight we're going to be on, and the food we just ate, if it has to come out mid-flight, then the two hot girls that Todd likes and stuff, they're going to walk in after you go to the bathroom, and then, like, all they're going to remember you by is the sting in their eyes and that gag in the back of their throat. All that shit. But then when they get on the plane, it's the same two girls. And they ask him to switch with the other, so she can sit with the other girl. And he says, no, that sorry, he has a bladder issue. It's a urinary tract infection. And they look disgusted and they walk off. So, like, he was just giving Alex shit about shitting. And then on the plane, he embarrasses the shit out of himself. And all they're going to remember him by is urinary tract infection. So that's stupid. I never remember that. I mean, I remembered that. I never understood that. And then again, like, Alex has not had his premonition yet. So why is he freaking out about the John Denver song playing in the bathroom? And then he goes like, John Denver, he died in a plane crash. Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? Like, why is that freaking him out? It's only when he has his actual premonition that he should be, like, really freaking out. And anybody would. Before that, though, like, what is... it's just a John Denver song. So what if he died in a plane crash? I don't know. All his, like, little things he sees before the actual premonition I don't know. They don't really work for me. I'll tell you though, the way that they film, like when they're getting on the plane and everything, and it's raining like real bad, and lightning and shit, like they really sell the message of this plane will crash. Like it really is effective. Like I don't know. I don't think I can think of any other movie that just so excellently foreshadows that a plane is crashing. I can't think of one. Like this does such a good job with making you. I mean, everyone knew this plane crashed. If you saw the trailers back in the day, everyone knew what happened. But if you didn't, immediately you're thinking this plane's crashing. Just by the way they film it and everything, they do so good with this. The French teacher says some shit in French, and he goes in. They were like, "Hey!" and they were like yelling and clapping, like they're celebrating way too early. They don't know what the hell's about to happen to them. Okay, right here, Miss Luton is sitting next to some lady. I guess it could be somebody else on the plane and nothing to do with the school. Alright, so never mind. But I do have an issue with the teacher thing. Like, when it comes up on I think it's on the news report later. Man, Death is a dick. Like, not only does he make this plane crash, he fucks with them beforehand. He gives a bunch of turbulence and stuff happens, and they're all freaking out, and then it settles down, and they go, it's fine, everything's good. Just to fucking crash the plane. Like, that's fucked up. If you're gonna kill people, just do it. Just crash the plane. Don't fuck with them first. Make them think, oh, we're crashing. Oh, no, we're fine. Then do it again and actually crash them. I don't know. Death is a dick in this movie. And all of them. This 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And yeah, 90% of the time, an oxygen mask ain't helping you for anything. Like, this plane crashes, any plane, most of them crashes, you're dead. I mean, sure, there's people who survive plane crashes. But in the majority of cases, the oxygen mask is not helping you. And I love the little mini, like, I don't even know what to call it. It's all in one scene. But when the girl, there's like the big ass hole in the plane, the side of the plane that blew up. And she's reaching for Miss Luton, and Miss Luton's like trying to grab her hand. And then she just gets, her chair and her gets sucked out of the plane. Like, that looks really cool. The whole premonition shit looks cool. And then fake out. It wasn't real. It was premonition, vision. Alright, so he has every reason to be freaking the fuck out right now. Like when, if I woke up, or not woke up, but had a premonition like that of the plane crashing, so detailed, then I got up out of my chair, and the two girls said the same exact things to me. Then I went and checked the seat, and the tray, the lock for the tray came out and it was broken. I'm out. Like, I'm out. Like, that's it. I'm off the plane. Like, I mean, Alex does get off the plane. I have an issue with that, too, I'll bring up. These are nitpicky issues. I adore this movie. And I like how Clear gets off the plane. It's like she has some instinctual feeling that, that Alex is right. And she has some, like, premonition-esque stuff that goes on that I really don't care for and that I don't understand. So, because it makes no sense. But I'll talk about that later. And Carter is just a dick through this entire movie. Like, what the hell does he have against Alex? I don't get it. He's just an asshole, right? Like, that's his whole character. I don't get it. Like, he's fighting with Alex left and right. Like, before they get on the plane, when they get off the plane. Like, he just loves messing with Alex in airports, maybe. Maybe it's just in airports. Maybe he doesn't do this in their school. We don't know. We never see it, so I can't guess. Oh, and it's sad, man. That Todd got off the plane, Alex's best friend, to check on him, and his brother stays on. His brother dies in the plane crash. That sucks. Like, that really does. Like, Todd is a really cool character in this movie. Like, he's just somebody that you can just really, I don't know, like, you just like him. Like, as soon as, like, you see him in this movie and get to know him a little bit, I just love his character. So just knowing that he's hurting like that after the plane crashes, then he lost his brother and all the friends that he probably had. I don't know how many he did. Probably had a few. That sucks. That's really, that's hard to swallow, like, for sure. All right, Carter, you're not losing a whole fucking day in Paris, quote you. You're losing 3 hours. Miss Luton specifically says when she's saying that there's two of us teachers and one of them's got to be on the plane, like with all these students. They're going to Paris for 10 days, blah, blah, blah. Which is a huge issue with that, like I said. But he starts fighting with him over saying that they're going to lose a whole day. No, they're not losing a whole day. They're losing 3 hours. Last time I checked, there's 24 hours in a day, right? So it's not a whole day. He's still going to have 21 hours in Paris on the first day to enjoy himself. Except he's not, because he's getting off the plane, or he's off the plane already, and he's going to fucking die later. He's never getting to Paris. But don't they get to Paris in the end? Maybe, yeah, I think they do. So never mind. I love how the whole scene is filmed with when the plane is taken off, and Alex and Carter are fighting, and they don't focus on the plane or anything. And then it just blows up, and the windows blow in. I don't know if that would happen. Like, don't they have, like, real strong glass in airports? Like, bulletproof, like, they can't break? And that plane was mad far away. Sure, it might be able to happen. If you're a glass expert watching, let me know in the comments if you're an expert on glass. Because I'd like to know if that would actually happen. But I love the whole way they shoot that. Like, just having it in the background, and just then it explodes. And they all look at Alex like they hate him. All look at him like and simultaneously like they hate him, and you just saved my life and I'll suck your cock. Like, that's how everyone looks at him. And the way that they did Sawa up, like in the beginning here, with all his hair looking just sweat drenched and stuff on his face, they did a great job. Like, he really looks like he's sweating his balls off and just in complete panic mode and doesn't know what to think. Great job on that. These FBI agents, the biggest dicks in the world. Like, as soon as they walk in, they say, oh, you know, we want to get everything from you guys, so while it's fresh in your mind, and, you know, find out if there's any possibility of a criminal investigation. And then the one dude with the glasses looks right at Alex. It's like, dude, you really think this kid did this? Like, and they continue to harass him in this movie. Assholes. All right, huge issue. I've had it for years with this movie. Alex did not get off the plane. Like, the FBI agents ask him, you know, then why did you get off the plane? When he says that he didn't think it was really going to happen. He did not get off the plane. He was taken off the plane. He was thrown off the plane. He did not get off the plane. Like, get what I'm saying? Like, he didn't just get up and walk out and say peace, like, or freak out and run down. Nothing like that. He caused a ruckus. Can you describe the ruckus, sir? Every time I say that word, you can't think of anything else. I love that movie. But he caused a ruckus, and they threw him out. He was carried out because he was fighting with Carter in the aisle. And they both got carried out by people. That's not leaving the plane. That's getting your ass thrown off the plane. So, big issue with that line. I've had it for so long. Man, Clear, that name. Her parents must hate her. Like, they have to drive her home in the pouring rain. You never see her parents in this movie. Like, her parents wouldn't come pick her up or anything like that. And they named her Clear Rivers. So, yeah, worst parents award for her. Parents. That's right, this takes place near Long Island. They had the news report. Long Island, that's where I am from. Representing Long Island. I fucking hate it here. Alright, this is the issue I've always had with the teachers. They say on the news report that 287 people died or feared dead. Then they say that, you know, on the plane it included 40 students and 4 teachers. Now, Miss Luton specifically said to the airport dude, whoever the hell he was, that one of the teachers her or the French-speaking teacher, one of them have to be on the plane because they have a class of students that are going to be in Paris for 10 days. So she made a whole argument out of that, like, 'cause they're the only two teachers. But yet they say there was 4 that died. So one was the French dude, and then who's the other 3 mystery teachers? That never made sense. It doesn't make sense. Either Miss Luton's lying just to try to get on the plane, like both of them. I don't know, but she doesn't seem that way. She's really like arguing. Like, Like, she needs to be on that plane, or one of them has to be on to be there for these kids and watch them. So, none of that makes sense. This is another issue. They say that this, they do the whole memorial that is 39 days has passed that they lost their 39 loved ones. All right, so 39 they're saying died. They just said on the news report that a class going to Paris that there was 40 students and 4 teachers, which again that makes no sense, but that's 44 people. And then, so if it's 40, that's 44 that died, but why is there 39 here? They say died. If they're talking about, if like they say it like 40 are feared dead, or they died in it, but let's just say they're like they don't know the people who got off the plane. So we got Claire, we got Alex, we got Todd, we got Carter, his blonde girlfriend, I never remember her name, Miss Luton, and Stifler. 7. So take 7 away from the 39 here, and you got 32. Add in the 4 teachers, that's 36. Doesn't match 39. Or from the 40 or the 44 that they say on the plane, the 40 students and the 4 teachers, is 44. Minus 7 was 30. Damn, man, it's fucking late. It's 4:40 in the morning. Yeah, 37. I don't know. 37 is not 39. So no matter which way you do it, it doesn't equal 39. So they fucked that up too. I don't know why Todd's dad is so pissed at Alex. He saved his son's life. I mean, yeah, the other one's dead, but I mean, you got one more. Oh, it's not like you totally lost all your money. Like, you got one left. And you should be fucking on his knees for Alex for getting him off that plane. But he's pissed at him. I've never understood that. I don't get it. Like, it's not Alex's fault. So what's that whole animosity there? And that he doesn't want him talking to Todd anymore. And I don't get any of that. I mean, this is stupid. But again, Carter's being an asshole at the memorial with Alex, like always. So he does do it at school, or at least outside of school. He's just a total asshole to him. But then he says, like, I control my life and stuff, not you, and all that stuff. And then he says, I'm never going to die, and walks off. Yeah, you are. Everyone dies. And you're going to die a lot sooner than you expect to. And again, with Stifler, worst fucking casting ever. Not ever, but it's so bad. When he comes up to Alex and he's like, asks him some question, like if he knows when he's going to die, and he says, not here, not ever. Again, not ever, yeah, you will. In a terrible way, too. But then he comes back and for fucking comedic relief, and I asked out this girl, like, is she going to say yes? And I just, oh, yeah, right, okay, never mind, then you walk. He's so, the casting for him was so bad in this movie. I love their whole conversation here. Alex and Todd, when he's saying, his father is just, give him time to get over what happened, and then he's like, hey, when this is over, do you want to, like, take a road trip? And, like, all of that is so good. Like, the guy who plays Todd, I forget his name, but he's very, very good in this. Like I said earlier, you really care about that character. So when he dies soon, it really hits like it does. And especially that when Alex starts saying, like, he didn't kill himself, because that's what they think happened. It's like he would not do that. Like, we were making plans before that, which, yeah, but that happens a lot. Like, even though, yeah, Todd didn't kill himself, like, death did. Yeah, that makes sense for this in this context. But that does happen a lot. Like, people who make plans with somebody and then they kill themselves afterwards. I had a friend who did the same thing. Like, to me. Made plans and then gone. So it happens. Like, it definitely does. But I love that whole conversation between them. Like, it's heartbreaking in a way. Like, when you know what's going to happen to him in a few minutes. Man, this movie is so windy. Like, there is so many scenes that wind is blowing through the windows and, like, curtains are, like, flying around because of the wind. Very windy movie. Alright, so the whole issue I have with Alex's visions and stuff in this movie, and in pretty much all the movies, he had a full-on premonition on the plane that the plane was going to crash. He saw it all, and then it crashed. For what reason, we never find out. Like why he has this ability, had the ability to see this premonition, and it doesn't really matter. But then from then on, all he sees is like with Todd, with the fucking, he throws the magazine and Todd, it gets shredded by the magazine gets shredded by the fan, and then it just leaves a little word of Todd on the little piece of paper. Like, why doesn't he have full-on premonitions of everybody dying? He had one with the plane crash. So I don't understand any of that, and I kind of don't like it. Like, I feel like they could have done a little better with how Alex knows that who's gonna die, and how he sees it. It's not really a big knock on the movie. It's fine, but could have done a little better. But right here, like what I was saying earlier, the way that they build up to the deaths in this whole series is so good. Like, they do such a great job in like every movie with that. Which is when in Todd's bathroom, when the toilet starts leaking and stuff, and then you say, "Uh-oh," or then he gets the windows are blowing it, or blowing the curtains. So then he starts shaving, and you're like, "Oh shit, something's gonna happen with that." And then he starts with his nose hair clipping and stuff. Like, the way that it keeps building like that, and like you're thinking, "All right, what's gonna kill him? Like, how's he gonna die?" Is so great in this series, and I think that's a big reason why this was such a big franchise. Like, they handle it so well. And then the John Denver song, Rocky Mountain High, comes on again, which we hear a few times in this movie. Awesome. Like, that whole scene with Todd, before he dies, that whole scene happens, and it's not good, because I love Todd. But when he's still alive and they're building up to it, great scene. Man, that's such a great scene, but it's such a sad scene, dude. Like, that is a sad death with Todd. Like, when we finally see how he's gonna die, and he trips into the, on the water shit that came out of the toilet, slips on that, and then the whatever the hell that is, cable, the wire, fucking wraps all around his neck a few times, and then he starts his eyes turn red and everything. It's so sad, but it's done so well. Like, if that makes sense. Like, great scene. And they deem this a suicide. Do they not look at, like, his feet are like sticky and shit, that he like slipped on whatever the fuck that was? Then there was shampoo that spilled in the bathtub. Wouldn't they see that he's slipping and stuff like that? They don't think that maybe he slipped and this happened? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, not at all. They just is suicide. Like, I feel like they do that a lot in real life. Like, well, we don't know what really happened here. I mean, it seems like it's just fucking suicide. Write it down. Seems like that's what they do sometimes, and it's sad, because it's not a suicide, obviously. And then the whole thing with the blue water shit, or whatever it is, going back into the toilet, like, get the fuck out of here. That's so stupid. I don't know why they did that. Like, yeah, I get it, it's death. But, like, is death really spending its time after killing somebody cleaning up the bathroom? Really? Like, I think death has better things to do. Like, kill the other people that he has to kill. And this day and age, death could be a she. It could be a he, she. It could be whatever you want it to be. I'm just, for simple reasons, making it just simple, death is a he. From the beginning of this and going onwards. And then the two FBI guys show up at Todd's house and see Alex. And the guy with the glasses gives him a fucking deep-ass stare. I just don't like, every time I see this guy, I just want to take him to the zoo, open up a cage, and throw him in with a gorilla, and have the gorilla rip him apart. Yeah, they say gorillas aren't like that, but if you've ever seen the movie Congo, some are. So get a Congo gorilla in there is what I'm saying. Get my jump scare gorilla. If you've been watching long enough, you know what I'm talking about. Get the jump scare gorilla, silverback gorilla, put him in a cage with this guy, and have him just have a blast. Have him shit in his hand and throw it at this FBI dude. And then just proceed to just rip him apart. I don't know, maybe it's a little harsh, but every time I see this guy, So I wish happened. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with the silverback gorilla jump scare, you haven't been watching JT's horror discussions enough. So get back on some of my back catalog.
Not alike.
I love when Alex goes to clear, and she's like, you know what this is? Like her little, it's not sculpture, I guess, but like it's made of a whole bunch of shit. And he's like, this is springy head guy. That's great, springy head guy. It's a great first thought to have. And then she says it's you. I'd be like, this don't fucking look like me at all. This is springy head guy. I already established that shit. This is springy head guy. This is not me. Make up your mind, Clear. Yeah, so Clear's entire thing with saying that, like, I didn't see what you saw, but I felt it. Like, and I still feel it, and I know you still feel it from that day, and all of that. Like, why? Like, does she have some power too? Like, none of that's explained ever. With Alex, it doesn't really matter. But with Clear, that name, man. Clear Rivers. Can you imagine? That whole thing with her, like, psychic, clairvoyant, whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't make any sense to me. Unless it's just a deep, 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 deep gut instinct. But I call bullshit on that. Bullshit. But I do still adore this movie. When they break into the morgue, Clear and Alex, and they see Todd's body, Clear comes out and says, like, oh, why do they do him up like Michael Jackson? I mean, funny, yeah, but it's his best fucking friend, man. Like, he just died. Not the time to be making jokes like that. Like, you know me, I'll joke about anything whenever. Not when somebody just died. That's like, that is the only line for me. And not really. Like, only if it's like a friend or a friend of yours is family or a friend of theirs or like somebody you know personally. If you don't know them, fuck them. I'll make a joke about them. And all I can say, Tony Todd kills it, like always. Just his voice alone elevates this movie, like the few scenes that he's in. But Tony Todd kills it all the time. But just his voice, like that was such amazing casting. But yet they screwed up so big with Stifler, with fucking Scott. I don't know. They have an amazing casting right there with Tony Todd. And then but I mean, look, it's Tony Todd versus Sean William Scott. I mean, come on, like, who's winning that one? Yeah, I don't even have to say who it is. It's Titty. 2 T's. And even though I have been, like, not bitching, but, like, nitpicking certain things about, like, the whole way this all works, how does Tony Todd's character know anything about this? Like, how does he know that death's after them and that it has a plan and that all of that? Like, how does he know anything about that? Like, that's never explained or anything, but it doesn't have to be. I like how ambiguous a lot of things in this movie are, even though I did nitpick on a little bit of them, like with Clear mostly. But I do like how ambiguous it is, and like we don't need an explanation. Just like go with it, because it works, and it does. Plus, if Tony Todd ever tells you to do something or tells you about something, you listen, because that man is never wrong. Listen always. Just like when I was saying, oh, what the hell was it? Oh, in my Day of the Dead video, when I was saying, always listen to a Jamaican. Always listen to a Jamaican dude. They are never wrong. They're never wrong. Make sure they're real Jamaican. Make sure they're not a fake Jamaican wearing one of the hats with the dreads. I got one over there. I don't know why, but I said that in my Day of the Dead video. Always trust a Jamaican. They are always right. Same with Tony Todd. Trust Tony Todd with everything in your life, because this man is never wrong. So just take whatever he says and do it. Or just figure it out, whatever he's talking about. Because that man is a genius. And then Alex and Clear are sitting there, and he sees the bus go by in the reflection of the glass of some store. And then we get that great scene coming, like the blonde chick's death. But yeah, just the whole premise of this series and concept behind this, and the whole idea of cheating death, and that they were supposed to die on the plane, and because they got off, now death has unfinished business with them, and that's why it's coming after them and killing them one by one. It's such a great concept. It's such a great premise for this movie, and that launched like the little franchise it did. Like, it's something you don't see. Like I was saying at the beginning of this video, it's something you do not see often, if at all. So, I mean, I miss this series. I honestly do. This is going to be fun going through all these movies. And I cannot wait for the sixth one. I know they announced it. I don't know. I don't know if it's still in, if they filmed it yet, or if it's in pre-production, or I have no clue. But I'll look into that because I really want to know, because I really would love a Final Destination 6. I like how they all show up, like Luton and Carter and the blonde girlfriend and fucking Stifler. They all show up there, so they're conveniently all in one place, so they make you think it could be anybody. I mean, come on. Dude, I laugh every time that chick gets hit by that bus. Every single time. It's hysterical. When she just turns and she walks into the street and you know it's happening. Like, they showed the bus in the reflection, that the vision that Alex had. You know this bitch is getting hit by this bus. Like, you know it. Like, it's so heavily foreshadowed. But when it happens, it's just, it's great. But it's hilarious at the same time. Because we don't know nothing about her. Like, she has no character development in this movie. Except that she's Carter's girlfriend. That's it. But I just noticed this. Before she gets hit by the bus, when she's walking, there's a big-ass tractor blocking the road. That's where the bus comes from. So where did that bus come from? Like, watch it if you don't know what I'm talking about. Right before she gets in the street, they show like a shot of her talking, and right behind her is the direction the bus comes from. And there's a big-ass tractor or something, or like some vehicle blocking the whole street. And then the bus comes from that direction. So they messed up there. It's also a clever idea, too, of when he traces off, when they're showing, like, the position that the direction that the explosion went on the plane. And he says, like, that's Todd's seat. And then he gets the tracing paper and he traces it out. And then we get the whole idea shown here that could be, when they're going to die, the order they're going to die in. That's cool, too. That's a very cool idea. Even though I didn't pay attention, but I really don't think, like, when they show it on the TV and then when he draws it, like, it doesn't look like the same path at all. Like, it's similar. I could be wrong. I don't know. But every time I see this, I notice that. And then I just forget about it. So who knows? I'm not going back to find out. Like, are you serious? No. Not going to lie, though. I mean, you know how I hate these FBI agents. Mostly the white one. The black dude's cool. Maybe he's Jamaican. You trust everything he says. But he's cool. And he says at one point that, like, maybe he's right, like what Alex is saying. It's just the white dude with the stupid glasses, because they're, like, oversized. And I think that makes him look weird. Just me. But he does look guilty as shit. When he's outside of Miss Luton's house and he's, like, looking at her car and stuff underneath it, and I guess he's trying to check the brakes and stuff like that and make sure nothing happens. I don't know. But he looks guilty as sin when they drive up. I mean, if you were an FBI agent and you think that this kid could possibly be responsible for their plane crash somehow, I don't know why they think he's responsible, and then the death of two other people, one being hit by a bus that has nothing to do with him, so that makes no sense either. But then you find him messing around underneath the car of another person involved, you look guilty as fuck. So, gotta side with the FBI on that one. Miss Luton puts the record on, John Denver. The lesson of this movie is never listen to John Denver again, or you will die. Like, that's the message from this movie. John Denver died in the plane crash, his ghost came back as death, and if you listen to his records, he will kill you. In a terrible way. Thanks, John Denver. Again. going Dahmer on you guys? What the hell does that mean? Dahmer was a serial killer. A plane crashed here, and then other people are dying in weird ways. That's a weird line. But again, this entire scene with Luton is excellent. Just the way, again, how they just build up to it. And she has the tea kettle and stuff, and that starts going off. And then everything, like, he's just, everywhere you look, and they show something, it's like, is that what's going to kill her? Like, and the way they handle that in most of the things in these movies, because there's some, like in 4, pretty sure it's 4. 4 is not that good. I pretty much love the first 3. 5 is decent. 4 is just not that good. So I don't even remember 4 actually, so I can't comment on it until I rewatch it. But I remember it's not great at all. So, but the way they do this in every single one, like in the next movie, when the guy's getting out of his burning apartment and he comes down the fire escape, and there was like there was spaghetti that he threw out earlier, and then he slips on it and the ladder comes down and right into his eye. That's great. But I'm going to repeat this in the next video for Final Destination 2. But that is so cool. And the way they handle that and everything here, and just like the close-up shots of when she uses a match to turn the oven on. It's just shot in such a ominous way that it's like this movie and this series can make anything seem like death is coming, and that it's excellent because of that. And I like how Alex, when the FBI bring him in again, when they say he's telling him like, can you promise us that nobody else is going to die? And I love how Alex says, no, I can't. Like, as long as I'm in here, then I can't. I have no control over it. And then they let him go. For some reason, I've always liked that. Yeah, then right here with the black FBI agent, when he's saying like the kid freaks him out, and he's saying like, because there was some moments there that I believed him, and then the white dude is a dick like always, and like says whatever he says, like just degrades whatever he said, asshole. But love that whole little bit of dialogue from Black Guy. Black Guy. That sounds wrong. Black Guy. And if like you stumble upon the channel and you're like a woke person and Black Guy offends you, then just get the fuck off the channel, because you're the last person I want here. Yeah, and like the whole, I just love it how they just keep going with it. That you see the coffee mug breaks and cracks, and then the water's dripping as she's walking with it. She don't notice that. I mean, maybe, but come on. And she's walking with it, and it drips down onto the TV, and then it's just, you don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, because, I mean, that's going to be like every single death in like the whole series. But, I love it. And then the TV just explodes, and the glass goes into her throat. I don't think a TV's just going to break like that and explode. I mean, if you're a TV expert, also still a glass expert, let me know. If you're a glass expert who specializes in TV glass, that very, very, very niche profession, please let me know. But damn, it's effective, man, when she's walking around and her neck is just bleeding everywhere. Like, it looks really good. And then the plate just starts going on fire because the vodka bottle. Yeah, I said vodka, right? Fuck you, it's 5-something in the morning. Vodka bottle. And then it explodes or some shit, and then it's on fire. Great scene. And then when she goes to reach for the knives, or the rag, and it pulls the rack of knives down, and the one just lands right in her. Like, oh, what a terrible death, man. Like, oh, can you imagine? You have a knife inside you, your throat is cut and bleeding, and your place is on fire. Getting stabbed has to suck. Having your throat fucked up and bleeding like that's got to suck on its own. And everyone knows they don't want to burn to death. This is all 3 in 1. Like, oh, that's terrible. Oh, yeah, I forgot this. And then something happens that knocks the chair over, and the chair conveniently, like, lands right on the knife and pushes it down more into... Oh, what bad luck this woman has. Like, death is so messed up to her. Like, it really fucks with her. Like, it's like, going to give you the worst death possible. The only thing about this scene, why does Alex grab the knife? Like, why? Like, if you ever come across or go to a house of a friend or something like a family, and they're laying on the floor, stabbed with anything, you never pick it up or touch it or for any reason, like at all. Like you just don't do it because then your fingerprints are on it, and then you have to explain a whole bunch of shit that you don't know, and you look guilty as hell. So never pick up a knife or anything like that that's stuck into a human body. Is my point. Never. That's right. Clear's father died, so I take back half of what I said about her parents being terrible parents. Even though her mom did, like, leave her with her stepdad that she hates. So I guess it still applies. I mean, the father died, so you can't really blame him for anything. But they both, I'm guessing together, decided to name her Clear Rivers. So, fuck you, dead dad. It's still, you're still guilty. And then Clear goes, fuck death. That's right, Clear. That's why you're the only one alive in the next movie. Stifler. Well, when they're saying who's next and asking Alex, oh, please tell me I'm going to see the Jets win the Super Bowl. Are you serious? Like, oh. He's one of the only terrible things in this movie is Sean William Scott. I've said it enough, but he is one of the biggest negatives in this movie for me. And this is like the only time that Carter is like semi-nice to Alex, like in the car when they're talking about who's next. Yeah, because Carter is only nice when he might be dying. Like, that's it. Like, besides that, he's just an asshole always. Asshole always. Carter. And then straight back to Dick. When he starts speeding up in the car and, like, risking everybody's life, trying to see who's next. And I hate his character. I mean, this is a small little thing, too. But how does Alex, like, see those visions, like the bus going by, and then what he sees in the car? He's always looking in that direction, like, when it's there. Like, that's funny. Like he's looking in that direction. He just happens to be looking at the reflection on the store glass and sees the bus. And he just happens to be staring out the window at that moment to see that little quick vision of, I don't even know what it is. It's like the little things they put to block off stuff, like block a road. I don't know. That's what it looks like. But he happened to be staring out the window at that exact moment. Like I said, it's stupid. It's a funny nitpick. But I noticed it and be like, this guy's always looking in the right place, man. Like, he's good. And I really like the whole scene here on the train tracks when Carter's like just sitting there on the train tracks waiting for the train to come. Then he just like realizes the way that Alex is acting and stuff. He's like, it's not my time. And he tries to get out and he can't get out. Then just the whole way that plays out. And then they pull him out at the right at the last moment because his seatbelt broke. Then Alex realizes that he messed with Death's plan and that it should have been him, Carter, but it wasn't because we have Stifler, who his character in American Pie is obsessed with sex and getting head, and the writers just decided to give him head decapitation. And it does not look pleasurable, like at all. One bit. Nope.